Hello viewers, Gamer Inspector 4700 here. First off, let me just say a huge thank you for like 183 subscribers right now as I'm filming this video. It is a huge milestone for me. I was gonna make a 100 subscriber video, but life caught up with me. And since we're almost reaching 200, I am working on a 100/ maybe 200 subscriber special, but I wanted to put this video out there first, since this one is gonna play a small part into that special video. So be on the lookout for that. Again, a huge thank you to everyone. It really means a lot to me. Thank you. Now, when I made the idea of Team Puzzle, I honestly didn't really expect it to kick off that much, but as of now, we have 193 members, and now we can rule the world by making people solve our puzzles. Okay, just kidding on the world domination things, but still, just keep solving puzzles and keep being awesome, and thank you for that. So technically, this is another tag video that Birdkeeper Toby did, like the... I can't remember what I was doing. The Evil Organization one. That's right. I couldn't remember the name for whatever reason. It's like the Evil Organization one, but this time it's what if I had my own Pokemon Championship. And I'm gonna do some bit special because normally I'd like have two very separate continuities, but this is actually going to be in the same timeline as the Evil Organization plotline, so it's gonna take place like 5 years after that. So that's happening. So as a trainer, you finally conquered all 8 gyms and are now going up Victory Road. Or if you're like a certain completionist, you could have 10 gym badges, because you're Gary Flippin' Oak! Anyways, you reach the end of Victory Road, and there at the end is this giant castle, almost like twice, if not thrice the size of Hyrule Castle, standing on a great plateau with like a chasm going down with waterfalls cascading on every side. In appearance, it's kind of like Anton's castle from Professor Layton, except a lot more majestic and beautiful and not dark-y at all. So you cross the bridge, go into the plateau, and you make it to these giant double doors leading to the inside of the castle, more specifically into the courtyard. But in order to open them, you have to insert all 8 of your gym badges into the door. You didn't need those extra 2 badges, you Gary Flippin' Oak! Opening the door, you find yourself in the castle courtyard, and there's a stone pathway which leads up to a giant watchtower / stadium type of area. Kind of like those watchtowers where you fought Lionels in the Hyrule Castle in Breath of the Wild, since that Hyrule Castle is primarily what this League Stadium is based off of. The castle is officially, as I call it, Paragon Castle, and you would be finding the Elite Four in a set order, like the 1st through 4th generation, since that's how I basically played it growing up, and I just really like it that way since it gives more challenge than choosing your own order. I like that, but again, it's a lot more challenging if you do it in a specific order. Also, the theme that would be playing while you're like going through Paragon Castle would be the Temporal Spire theme from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time, since I feel that theme just really fits the overall castle, final level, majestic sort of atmosphere. Entering the watchtower, you basically find yourself in a plainish type of battlefield with grass growing around and a couple of trees littering the area, but the far end, like right in front of the opposing box, are 2 giant trees, and strung in between them is a hammock, and lying in that hammock, sleeping soundly, is none other than Birdkeeper Toby. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I'm going to be doing YouTubers on this list because I wanted to, because I feel like I have a couple that would really be on the Elite Four, and like I just said, Birdkeeper Toby is one of them. Birdkeeper Toby lets out a long yawn, gets out of his hammock, and finally notices you there, and he says, "Oh, Challenger. Sorry I was sleeping, I wasn't really expecting anyone. I do hope you do well in our coming battle, though. It's been a long time since we've had a new king." And then the battle commences. Keep in mind that I use the term king as an equivalent to champion, since again we are in a type of castle setting, and I do think it just sounds cool. The reason I chose Birdkeeper Toby, other than him being one of my favorite Poketubers, is that since you find him sleeping, you tend to like underestimate him and the Elite Four, because he is being a bit lazy, but he's Bird Sleeper Toby also. But he's not a pushover, he is far from, and he actually mentions this in his other video, either his gym battle or his champion battle, it's one of those two, but he does mention this. The team he has in my Elite Four would probably be the same as he has in his champion video, which is Porygon Z, Slacking, Bibarel, Exploud, and Beware, with Beware having the normal type Z move, which I can't remember off the top of my head. And yes, the Elite Four in mine has 5 Pokemon instead of 4. And the battle theme that would be playing would be the Aura's version of the Elite Four battle, since that's like one of my favorite Elite Four battle themes. And yes, every member of my Elite Four is going to have their own battle theme just because I think it'll make it unique and just overall more cool. Once you beat him, he says that he gives his congratulations to you, and he says that there might be a new king after all. And he gives you an item called the Ruby Key, which is basically just a simple silver key with a ruby embedded at the end. And he tells you that this will open the door to the next Elite Four member's room, and the door behind him opens and you continue on your way. Going up a similar pathway to the previous one, you come up to the second watchtower, which you unlock with the Ruby Key. Once you enter inside it, the walls basically are like those giant wall circular aquariums. I'll try to put a picture up, just those wall aquarium fish tanks, and it's casting a light in which looks like you're being on the sea floor at the bottom of a pool. And looking in the fish tank at one of the far walls is a young woman in her early middle 20s with a hand on her hip. The person is revealed as Blue Eyes from Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs. Yes, as a character she's a bit obscure, but I like her personality and her story, so I decided to put her in my Elite Four. She talks to you while walking to her box on the battlefield, saying that she used to be a high-ranking member of an evil organization, but a few years after she quit, she was found by the champion, and she became his student slash... This is the second time this has happened this episode. Apprentice! That's what I was looking for. His student slash apprentice number 1. And yes, I just put that apprentice number 1 in there for an inside joke for Layton fans who are watching this video. Thank you for getting that inside joke. You are awesome. She says that half the challengers don't really make it past her, and she wants to see if you're worthy to meet her mentor. She gives you her signature pose and the battle begins. The Pokemon she would have in her arsenal would be Wishy-Washy, Vaporeon, Milotic, Lapras, and Feraligatr, with Feraligatr have the water type Z move, and her theme being the All-True Tower theme. It's from a different Ranger game, I know, but it's still a really cool thing, and I think it would fit with like an Elite Four battle. When you defeat her, she exclaims that no one else has really beat her before, other than like half of the challengers that came up to her level. And she's resigned at first, but she picks herself back up and says that you had better defeat her mentor since you beat her. And she gives you the Sapphire Key. Going up the pathway, you come to the outer gates that lead to like the courtyard of the main part of the castle. So opening the gates with the Sapphire Key, you enter the courtyard, and right outside there's a battlefield, but littered around the area is a bunch of red roses just all around the courtyard and around the battlefield. And in the center of the battlefield is a young man who appears to be training with a Gallade. It's almost like he's sparring with it. He doesn't notice you because his back is turned, but Gallade notices you and he points you out to him. And he turns around to reveal to be Wally from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Wally is one of my favorite characters because he just has so much personality, mainly in the remakes, not so much in the originals, but mainly in the remakes, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and also in the manga, and I highly recommend you check those out because they are really interesting to his character. He says that he's excited to see you because only so many challengers have made it to his portion of the Elite Four, and that he wants to test his grown strength in order so that he can train to beat that one trainer, as he says, one day. But he gets a serious face on, and then he does his little nod head because I think that's really cool, and his theme music starts playing from Oros because that's also just epic, and the battle starts. Normally I would give him like a type specific set of Pokemon since almost every Elite Four member has that, but with Wally I couldn't really find a specific type for Wally, and so I just decided to go with his Aura's team and his Sun and Moon team, which is composed of Altaria, Magnezone, Roserade, Garchomp, and Gallade, with Gallade being a Mega, obviously, since it's really cool, and I really like his necklace. I want his necklace for a cosplay. It's a cool necklace. Okay, back on track. Once you defeat him, he does his little head swing of sadness, but he almost immediately brings himself back up, saying that he hasn't had a battle like that in forever, because, again, he's really strong, because he's Wally. Wally is always strong, and he's the third member of the Elite Four. And he gives you the Emerald Key along with the best of lucks on defeating the fourth member of the Elite Four, who he says is the strongest out of all of them, and he is for good reason. Using the Emerald Key to enter the outer sanctum of the Paragon Castle, which is almost like that one hall before the throne room, kind of, but it's a hall before a hall. Anyways, just entering that area, the walls and pretty much almost everywhere is basically made up of like a light mixed with dark green sort of surface, and it's just cool, and there are like stacks of books and like neat piles around just in the corner. There's also like a couple cans of Diet Coke right next to them. Papers are on the wall like strung together like conspiracy theories. And there's this like gray couch which is like just facing a TV and a camera hooked up, and right above the couch is like a shelf with a bunch of gaming merchandise and this little like yellow, I don't know how to describe it without spoiling it, but basically it's like a yellow peep. I couldn't find the words, like a peep almost. I can't really describe it. But there's no one in there. There's just no one in there. But you hear from this like closet door that's on the side, someone like almost like they're recording something, someone yelling, "But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching." And he walks out of the closet just dusting himself off, maybe done with the recording, and he notices you, and he's kind of startled by this, because almost no one makes it to this portion of the Elite Four, and it's revealed that it's MatPat from Game Theory. I chose MatPat because I think he would make a great final member of the Elite Four. He's like one of the smartest people that I've seen, kind of. Not kind of. He is one of the smartest people I've seen. I respect him so much. I've been like following him since 2013 or 2014, and I have nothing but respect for the guy. So I decided to put him in here since I like him so much. The battle starts with Usagi's version of Science Blaster playing, aka the Game Theory theme, and MatPat sends out his first Pokemon, and his team is made up out of Electivire, Rhyperior, Talonflame, Danger Noodle the Turlard, and Squirty the Blastoise, because that's what he nicknamed his first Squirtle, Squirty the Squirtle, and I respect that. Because I named my Mudkip, which is basically like my first Pokemon, Kippy the Mudkip, so I guess we have in common there. Now I know what you're thinking, what the heck is a Turlard? That isn't a real Pokemon, and technically you're right. It's a Pokemon that was made for the fan game Pokemon Uranium, which I still need to play. I might do a Let's Play of it. But it's one that MatPat used in his Let's Play of it. Not his Let's Play, his live stream of it. And when I asked him what he wanted, like, as his lead Pokemon to be on his AMA...
Gamer Inspector 4700, I'm making a video where I have my own Pokemon League, and I'm making you a member of my Elite Four!
Oh man, yeah!
Sweet.
Woo-woo!
May I ask what you would like your main Pokemon to be?
Also, you're awesome. Oh man!
I mean, Blastoise has always been my go-to. Like, he's always been one of my all-time favorites, because that's the first game I ever played, the first ever Pokemon I ever chose. So Blastoise, well, I mean Squirtle, but Blastoise was always a top. It's one. Go back to the Pokemon Uranium streams, choose one of those guys, and throw him into the team, and that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I decided to put him in, because I really respect the guy. And if you're watching this, MatPat, you're awesome. Clap and a half. Clap and a half to you, good sir. Defeat MatPat, and he says that he probably didn't research enough, and that it was just a theory after all. He also says that only like a handful of trainers beat him, namely like 30 or 40, and all of them were defeated by the champion, because there hasn't been a new champion in 3 years. And so he gives you the Diamond Key, he gives you his best of luck to you, and he also gives you a hint saying that the Diamond Key alone will open the last door, and he sends you on your merry way. Entering the door behind him, you come into this like massive stairway slash hall that's like almost made out of pure gold, and it's just going up, and there's like windows and little miniature pictures on the side depicting Pokemon and Mega Stones and Z Crystals, sorry, and it's just really cool. So you basically go up the staircase, and there's this giant set of golden double doors and this one keyhole. You try inserting the Diamond Key and turning it, but it doesn't work for whatever reason. There's a description above the door which says something along the lines of, I forget, let me look at my script. What did I say? Use all that you've learned to gain use blah, 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 blah. Use all that you've learned and gained to enter the king's throne room. And if you can solve this particular puzzle, I'll give you a little bit. I'll just give you a little bit.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'm done waiting. The answer basically means that you can there's a certain way to fit like all the 4 keys that you've gotten together into like one giant key, which is known in the key items section as the final key. So you use this key to open the door, and the double doors open. You reach the inner sanctum by this way, and inside is this giant domed golden room that's just the ceiling is being supported by 7 golden pillars, which like makes the outer rungs open and elevated, like making it completely exposed to the outside air and sunlight. There's like windows, just giant windows, like almost in between every pillar. And at the very end, like there's a stadium battle in between, in the center of the room, but at the very end is this giant throne that seems to be made out of pure diamond, but no one's sitting in it. In fact, you don't really see anyone. Until you look to the side where there's just this guy who seems to be playing cards at a table with a Raymusique. He's wearing a tan trench coat and he has blonde hair, but he doesn't really notice you since he's so invested in his game of cards. Neither he nor his Raymusique notice you. And so you like give like a little signal that you're there, like maybe a throat clear or like a clap or something like that, and he turns to look at you. At first with a bored expression on his face, but then it turns to one of curiosity. He stands up, returning Raymusique to his Pokeball, and he starts walking towards you. He starts to talk. Interesting, he says. Most of the time the challengers that do make it up here can solve the puzzle of the final key. Only 15, including yourself, have done that task. And when they do, they think they can waltz in here and say that they are worthy of the crown. You, on the other hand, have a look in your eye that seems to say something else, though I can't tell what it is. I came to this region after being saved for myself. I wanted to know what the truth of what it meant to fight for your ideals was. I took part in the League Challenge, like you, and I figured it out sometime during my journey. He starts to walk to his side of the battleground. The answer? Sometimes the answer is different for everyone. What about you? Do you know what it means to fight for your ideals? What it means to be a Pokemon trainer? Then show me the depths of your conviction through our battle. And the battle begins. The team that I would have is made up of Venusaur, Dragonite, Metagross, Frostlass, Raymusique, and at my head is Mega Swampert. And the theme that I was playing would be the Primal Dialga boss fight from Explorers of Time, because I honestly think that this is an awesome theme, one of the best in the Pokemon series, and it would fit my character really well. More specifically, it would be the one made by Happy Dragonite, which is playing right now. Defeat him, and a small smile spreads across his face as he lets out a small laugh. He tells you that he hadn't had a battle like that since he became the champion. He goes on to tell you that the answer I found is that if there is absolutely no doubt in your mind concerning your ideals, then you've already found the truth. It seems like you found the truth, same as I did. Funny, you remind me of that one trainer that I met when I was lost in myself. He tells you that you may have beaten him, but there is still one last puzzle you must solve before you become the new king. He leads you to a terrace that's right behind the throne, and it's overlooking this giant garden that's filled with mirrors, a bunch of prisms, and this one light beam that's like in the corner. There's a device like right there on the terrace, and he says that you must make the light beam just shine on all the mirrors and all the prisms. Complete this task and you hear something back in the throne room. Entering back in, you find that a piece of the dome ceiling has just fallen just lightly down to the floor, and that it looks like, if not is, a copy of the Rainbow Stone ship from Explorers of Time, because again, I really like that concept. Both you and I step onto it and we're lifted up to like back through the hole in the middle of the dome ceiling, where we're inside like a smallish room compared to the rest of the castle. And around the room are a bunch of detailed pictures of people and their Pokemon. I tell you that this is the Paragon Castle Hall of Fame and that it's time to register you. And congratulations, you have just beaten my Pokemon League. So there you have it, this is what I would have for my Pokemon League. What'd you think of this video? Did you like it? Do you have your own idea for a Pokemon League? Let me know in the comments below and leave me a like and a comment and subscribe to my channel for more videos in the future. So until next time, bye bye!